What's up, YouTube? It's your brother SSO. So back again for another video. Today got a video uploaded by Jubilee. This is if white men were 100% honest. I myself am not a white man. However, I would find it very, very interesting to see what it is some of these gentlemen of the caucus race have to say about certain potential controversial issues. So with that being said, let's check it out. But before we get into it, y'all let me know down below in the comments how's your day. Hopefully it's pretty good. But if it wasn't, hopefully this makes it just a little bit better. Let's go.
We brought together
Jubilee.
7 strangers, protected their identities,
Sure, they're
and created a
strangers?
space for them to be completely honest.
Right.
What will be revealed when they take the mask off?
Let's see, man. Hopefully we get some real controversial stuff.
Everyone is racist, including me.
Okay, off the rip, yes and no. Even myself, I don't consider myself to be racist. I'm more so like, I talk trash just about everyone, even including like black people, in the sense that like, I'm not racist. Maybe I'm like a bit prejudiced towards everyone, including like black people, in the sense like I make jokes. I'll make like stereotypical jokes about everyone. So I don't want to say I'm racist. Like I don't actually like hate or dislike anyone from a particular race, but I will make fun of like people in the sense of like, I'll make fun of a black person for like always being late to something or loving fried chicken. You know what I'm saying? Those type of jokes. Nothing crazy or nothing like that. But I'll make jokes about other races in a sense. So maybe certain people would consider me racist, but I don't think I'm racist. But I can see why. Yeah, let's just see how they answer. Let's see how they really. Oh, okay, interesting. Blue is what? Agree? Do you agree?
Like, nobody wants to think of themselves as racist.
Right.
I don't think that I'm racist in the way that I think we think about racism.
Right.
But
I think certain jokes and stuff I may mention or say or, about races or certain races would probably come off as racist to some people. That's kind of a good way to put it, I guess.
the question is these, like, inherent biases that everybody has, and
True.
I think most of the time, most people are not aware of them. It's weird. I think there's, like, this new generational divide of, like, you are a racist or you said a racist thing. And I don't know where the line is. You might say something a little racist or something you don't see as racist. Someone calls you out and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, apologize. And if you argue that point against them, then I would say you're a racist. But if you understand or you come to understanding, you learn, everyone should be able to forgive that person and be like, no, you made a mistake. People make mistakes. I don't know. I feel like it's a binary. Yeah.
I think a really important thing that kind of is tough with cancel culture right now is that road to
Right.
redemption. And so after you said something wrong, how do you make yourself right again in the public sphere?
Yeah,
At least
he's
personally,
good
I feel like
point.
I don't see that a lot with cancel culture. Is if someone makes amends, there's now an acceptance like, hey, you did something wrong, but you're okay now, or at least better.
I think social media kind of incentivizes against redemption, and I feel like it's just outrage, and I do think people do like the rush of anger. I don't think people really
And the
believe
politically moral
in
high
redemption
ground,
anymore.
to feel like they have.
I guess, just kind of disagree with the idea of racism as a binary. It kind of goes back to that, like, really old meme where, like, Skipper says, like, we did it, Mrs. Obama, racism is over. The idea of a redemption is just like, all right, they've fixed their racism, in the sense that, like, I think the redemption that our society is calling for is impossible. It's almost like you need to, like, write a check every time you make a racism, and, like, that will
Make a
absolve
racism.
you of your thing, where I think, like, what we should be doing is, like, the idea of growth towards a better understanding.
We all should just become mixed.
I have struggled with my sexuality.
No, I'm straight. I've known this for a really, really long
What
time.
does your weight look like?
No shade to anyone who asks, but me personally, I know what I like, and it's not other me's. Can I skip this ad? Jesus, progressive. Maybe it's stupid. I was like, why is she just staring at him? But it's probably audio. It's definitely audio.
I felt an attraction to men really young.
Oh.
And but I didn't connect to gay culture at all. And I was like,
He's
if
like
it
one
was
of those-
straight or gay, it can't
yeah.
be any, it
He's
can't
like
be
one of those. Never mind.
other one. So I very consciously put myself in the closet, and I didn't feel confidence to, like, be my own person, obviously in high school. And slowly but surely, I started to come out to more people and talk about my experience.
Someone
and
talking.
stuff. But people come out of the
You hear
closet.
that?
That's one thing. That's the second step. The first step is, like, really kind of like acknowledging it and, like, loving yourself, and that was the hardest part for me. And I'm pretty good now. I'm happy.
Excuse
happy
me.
to die. now
Okay, man.
very comfortable with my sexuality, and I know it's a spectrum, but I think I'm for the most part straight. I struggled with depression for a long time, and I think one of the side effects of that for me was I fell into an eating disorder, and I got really skinny, and because I was struggling with an eating disorder, it made me for some reason question my sexuality.
Why? You feel
And
like
I
it was
understand how messed up that is now.
visually
I started to
disappealing
ask
to
myself,
females or
why
something?
did you associate that
Yeah,
one with the other?
right.
And,
Your physical
I
look.
think it was because it's just not largely talked about with straight men that we can still struggle with mental health and eating disorders.
I have a very core memory, somebody might say, of me walking in to my house after the first day of first grade, and I'm just like, hey mom, I think I have a crush on my friend. And my mom kind of laughed, and she's like, oh, boys don't have crushes on boys. And I was like, cool, got it, awesome. Just put that in the back of my mind. And I'm still working with like the idea that if I have a crush on a man, that's not inherently disgusting, because what's more disgusting than a man wanting you? Or like you said, like connecting to the gay community, unless you fit like it seems the tiniest of boxes, is really hard. And even now, like I went out last night and I had somebody that I kind of like caught my eye, but I had no idea how to approach that. It's like everybody else got like a manual and like 17 easy steps to not have social anxiety when in the club. And I'm just like, I guess I was.
I don't really go
I
out too
didn't
much
get
like
that
that.
class.
So.
I didn't sign up for it on LinkedIn. Just sorry, I'm using humor to cover it up.
It's like,
No, that's cool, man.
I
You're
went up
funny.
to the guy and said, "You're so handsome," and I was like, "Oh my god, that sounds like I'm an old."
Yeah,
woman."
you're
He's
so
like,
handsome.
It's one of those things where it's like, oh, obviously don't say that. But it's like, okay, but then what do you say? It's like, do I not think that he's handsome? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever been confused by consent?
Nope,
before?
never. Because consent in the sense of like sexual, right? No, never. I mean, I don't think no, never. You understand whether or not a girl is okay with you kissing her or touching her, whatever. You pick that up within the very first couple of interactions with said individual. At least, you know what I'm saying? I do. But, maybe some guys struggle. Really?
There have been instances where, in terms of friends, relationships, whatever, I can go too far because I misinterpreted consent, and just because people seem comfortable with something, you kind of go along with it.
Yeah, I think the reason I said yes was just thinking very specifically about situations where both of us have been really drunk or something like that, where it's like, it's not one person's sober and the other person's drunk and the drunk person's saying yes, but if you're both drunk and both consenting and into it in the moment, and then the next day, like I've had like neither of us really consented. Is anybody in the wrong here? And so that's kind of what I thought of when I heard I've been confused about consent. It's not as much in the moment, but after the fact in that scenario.
Jack, that situation is pretty scary because you interpret it one way, and if someone was hurt and you didn't mean to do that, and you didn't take the precautions for that, you're still at fault, and that sucks. And I'm not saying that's your situation.
Yeah.
That's the kind of world we live in, where we can really get in trouble sometimes, even when we don't mean to hurt others, and it sucks.
Yeah, I think that's the whole thing about consent is it's not always just like this guy being like, oh, come on, like, there's such a finer line. There's so many gray areas that it's really important to have those conversations because, yeah, there can be so many different scenarios that are still non-consensual, so.
Okay.
Women have more power than me.
No, I don't necessarily agree. I can see some instances where they're favored over me in like certain outings maybe or certain things like that, but I'm not gonna say more power than me. Nah. See, okay, there
Yeah, I
we go.
definitely don't think women have more power. And I think some people might think that just because you're seeing growing relative power that, some men might not be used to. Now that women are kind of getting closer to being equal to some people
They
that
are
might
equal.
feel like they're getting more power and they might be more powerful. And so I can understand why someone might, perceive that as relative, but absolutely I don't agree that like women have more power. I think we're getting closer to equality at this point where it's a work in progress.
I don't know. It's like a yes and no question. I was harassed by a superior who was a woman at a
snap.
previous job, like repeatedly harassed. I reported
Verbally?
it to my boss,
who was a white male, and he just laughed it off and said, toughen up, Buttercup. When women are harassed, I think if I was a woman and I reported harassment, especially right now with Me Too and everything, CEO would see a huge red flag, a huge possible controversy.
He's got a point.
I know there's definitely, ways when that isn't true, but for me it was just like, we don't care. You're a man. Toughen up. I don't give a shit. Like, she's a woman. She can't harass you. And it was really hard. I'm sorry. And I was really scared, and like, if I didn't have some, good women in my life and some good people, I wouldn't have taken
I didn't see that coming.
I would have just toughened up.
I'm getting emotional.
And I
like
would have
that.
let it kill me inside.
Was that bad, man? Sorry. Jeez.
I've had fantasies.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So I said yes because, like, I can't think of a specific time, but, like, I believe I have at one point. It's more like
Aligned with,
role
like,
playing under very strict guidelines, and with the understanding that my partner will stop if I ever get too uncomfortable. In terms of, like, fantasizing about actually doing the very illegal and immoral act, no. But I think, like, role playing, or even like the fiction you read, or even like to a certain extent, as long as it's ethically made, porn, like, it's exploring that healthily, I think is valid, and it's something that I think I have done in the past.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I explore it in porn, but like personally, no. Like it freaks me out too much. I do have like this kind of feel of wanting to be dominated by a man, or a woman. That's more in porn than like in real life. I feel like I'd be freaked out in real life if that happened.
But so in this situation where you're doing this, like with your partner that you stated, are you the person that is receiving this idea of
You're saying, am I playing the role of the
assailant
or the victim?
yeah,
Okay. The role I am playing would be that of the assailant. I'm using that.
Okay.
Not playing.
Due to like social anxiety and
People would be like,
just a lot of things that keep me like a
he
more
said
like
that.
docile and submissive person. I like exploring a more dominant side
Okay, man.
via power dynamics
Okay.
in a safe environment, obviously.
When you're assaulted, like sexually assaulted, you don't have a choice in the matter. But when you are role playing it, you can say, like a
Safe word. Yeah.
and that you have the control. But when it's that control's robbed from you,
It's different.
it messes with you. I think that's the distinction with the role play.
I feel like we kind of have a misunderstanding here. I at least think that it's really insensitive, at least, to be doing these role plays, because you will never be able to feel what these people feel, and like it kind of it's off.
I think if you do it, just keep it to yourself. That's the way I think about it. Because going around and be like, oh yeah, like I was with my girl last night and we kind of got this role play, or I think that doing that is like, all right, yeah, calm it down. But if you do it, it's just like keep it to yourself between you and that partner.
I understand that, and like I said, it is something like obviously I've never experienced it, and so my fantasy kind of might come from like a position of privilege, and I think that's why I'd like to explore it in a healthy way to figure out like why exactly I feel that way. And I understand like from the outset, and even like as I explain it, it has the potential to sound like incredibly like jarring.
Yeah.
The way you're explaining it, though, like that's why I'm asking you questions, because I can instantly assume that you're a person. But now that I see the way you spoke to me, and you obviously have some feelings about it that you've thought to yourself over time. So, like, I just want to,
I appreciate that.
But and I think that the way we handled it is kind of a good way to be communicating with others and understand issues.
Like I appreciate the way you ask the questions and stuff like that.
Thank you.
I have
awesome.
been abused.
That one guy did. He bursted out tears. Sounds like. Abused. No. March 3rd. That's pretty soon. No, I can't say I have. Jonathan Majors is in a lot of films pretty recently. Ant-Man.
Yeah,
Creed?
I've been going through it. You go through it.
No, I think I've just been abused two
Verbally.
ways. And abused is such a, again, like, can mean so many things. So
Right.
I've been abused
emotionally in a relationship, but not physically or sexually, but definitely emotionally. And then I've been abused as like an employee to an employer. Again, not sexually or physically, but just abused their power
over
me.
you. Yeah.
As
Yeah, leadership.
I talked about, I got harassed by an older female employee, and working through it, it's always a process. I don't know.
All right, man.
My family,
Sorry.
we've endured emotional, physical abuse from my father, and I'm sure a lot of people can, attest and say the same things. And he lives in a whole other country now, so I don't really talk to him. And I need that guidance. When I'm going from 14 to 18 years old, that's like a really influential time. So it's really hard to have to deal with that on your own.
Man.
The worst part was when I told him about some of the issues I had because I didn't have
Dismissed him.
because of the way he, hurt me. He kind of just said, "Yo, that's your fault. Like, you can't blame me for that and put it on me." I think this kind of ties into.
Dang.
I want to bring it in how sometimes I feel like as a white man, I can't really talk about my problems because you're always
been
taught
taught
to
to suck it
up.
up. Yeah, man.
So
Even
it's all that
even
multiple
in
times.
and in a sense, and it's like I said, I'm not a white man, but I am a man nevertheless. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I understand like the feeling of like no one cares about how I feel about certain things. The fact that sometimes I feel like I may be struggling in life, and it's like, well, I'm the man. Like, I gotta succeed. I gotta suck it up and put my foot to the ground and keep on walking and keep on shoveling through the snow or keep on traversing through the mud because no one cares. You know what I'm saying? Even it's just like so I get it in that sense, and it's even more. It's weird because it's weird because even now, especially you fit the description of like a white Christian heterosexual male. You're like the target group for like privilege. Like people say like, oh, you're privileged and you're this and you're that. It's like you're almost held to this high degree, and like people believe you're held to this high degree in like society where like you're like the golden god and goddess god figure or whatever, something like that. But it's like they're also at the not to say at the bottom, but like they're also with us in that they struggle, they have thoughts too, they have feelings and percept things, and it's just we're all human, man. So we all have a lot of the same problems, It's just crazy though.
Suck it up. Buttercup, I heard over here one. So yeah, for you, man. I remember with your boss telling you that that wasn't valid. That's not fair.
I don't think just because you're a man or white, you can't be abused. I was told that growing up. I think abuse kind of requires a power dynamic, and like even like all of us, we're white men. There's always somebody above us. There's a richer, whiter man, I guess. So like, what is exactly the top? Because there's always somebody I think above us to abuse us, and that's just not really talked about.
That's a good point.
Really quickly, I just want to do one thing. There's going to be no talking. It's the last question I have.
Oh, this is
you
random.
cannot elaborate on your opinion either way. Is the era of white men is over?
Interesting. That's interesting. I want them to elaborate. I can't speak. Elaborate. The era of white men.
Really wanted to elaborate on that.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Dang. I'm kind of mad we didn't get to see them elaborate. Dang, Jubilee. Come on. That was probably the best question you asked. Anyways, though, shout out to Jubilee, man. This is a very informative video. I really enjoyed it. I might watch this one next. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow. But not this one. But anyways, yo, very good video. I feel like there was a lot of good topics and discussion points that were brought up, some of which I could understand and kind of even have an opinion on and relate it to and share some experiences. Others I could not. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoy these videos, Jubilee, because you're bringing up these topics and these discussions in a healthy format in which no one can be attacked or anything like that for having simply an opinion. You know what I'm saying? Letting their opinions be voiced and understood. You know what I'm saying? I really I feel like we need more of that just overall in today's society when it comes to like, especially on social media spaces like Twitter and stuff. Oh my gosh. People need to be able to have an opinion and express their opinions in a healthy manner, and others need to be able to allow and accept others' opinions in the sense of at least understand it. You know what I'm saying? Really enjoyed this video though. Y'all let me know down below in the comments what are your thoughts on any of the questions stated above, and also, do you think the era of white men are over? I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I'm not sure. You guys let me know down below in the comments what are your thoughts. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on YouTube. I'm out. Peace.